action here at the 7-Eleven Cajun Nationals. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm Brock Gates along with Steve Evans. Ed Bruce here as well. The temperature's going up. The engines are fired. That is Ron Correnti's Captain Crazy car. Remember, you saw it on fire during a qualifying round. And then a wild race in which he beat out Texan Billy Meyer. Correnti up against one of the really nice guys in this business, John Collins.
He is a treat to be around. You're right, Brock. Now, his competition, Ron Correnti from Indiana, has been knocking around this sport for years in Top Fuel and Funny Car. As I mentioned earlier, new to this ride. John Collins, when he's not racing the quarter mile, he's raising cutting horses on the family spread in Oklahoma. You know, Brock, I can't imagine John Collins can even come to the starting line here in Baton Rouge without remembering that incredible two-car collision with Ed McCullough just a year ago. But he's back. A lot of people said he couldn't recoup, but he sure did.
And back in a big way. He's been running very, very well with that funny car in the last couple of races, but still, the big victory eludes John Collins, as it does Ron Correnti. Neither one of these guys have a major victory under their belt.
And I'll tell you what, if they flambe that Captain Crazy car one more time, there won't be enough left of it to race. That wasn't the only fire that car has suffered. You know, they worked so hard between rounds to get these cars ready. Well, there's a new device that'll help greatly in the area of the clutch. I looked at it earlier.
Drag racers just love gadgets. Anything that'll save them time on the racetrack or in the pits. Now, this is a clutch disc. There's 4 of these in the slider clutches in the Top Fuel directions and funny cars. When the car is serviced in the pits, these discs are red hot. They are warped. They have got to be made flat again. Now, Fred Miller here from the Blue Mask Crew, this is how Fred has had to do it for years. Grind both sides of all 4 discs, a very time-consuming and inaccurate procedure. Now, Tony McGleasy here has developed the portable disc grinder. He and his son Lonnie build slider clutches. Look at this gadget. Boy, the racers are going to love this. The disc goes on. There's an abrasive sanding disc in the box. Push the button. It spins it up to 400 RPMs and will grind it to any tolerance you like. You shut the door so all the dust and little pieces go out the bottom instead of in the atmosphere. I tell you, this could save up to 10 or 15 minutes getting a car ready for the next round. It only sells for $500. Boy, I'll tell you, this gadget's going to be real popular.
Could replace tape decks as the next big craze in the car business, Steve, as we watch Ron Correnti and the Captain Crazy car get ready to go against Collins.
It is John Collins off the mark first, but here comes Correnti. He is really driving that race car, and he gets there first. Lots of smoke, but no sign of any fire. How about Correnti? He was off the mark a little late, but he sure made up for it down the course. He wins it at 596, 242 miles an hour.
Terrific drive by Correnti. This is a big surprise. This Captain Crazy car is running as well as it's ever run. We sort of thought Collins might have him. There's a lot of smoke. Correnti looks like he's going a little sideways all over the racetrack. Collins goes straight, but in the end, it's Ron Correnti by a wink. Terrific drag race. Okay, he'll go into the semifinal round, something of an underdog.
Well, the body may be a bit flambéed, but for Ron Correnti, this is his best day in national event funny car racing. Good job.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Lots of smoke.
We heard it that time. We got some work to do.
Have you got the parts and the pieces?
Yeah, we got the parts. Yeah, we'll be back. Some way, we'll be back.
Well, you've already proven that, coming back from that fire on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, Ron Correnti got some work, as he says, back in the pit area. They hurt that motor pretty badly. A disappointed and a somewhat surprised John Collins comes over. Always a traditional handshake at the far end of the racetrack. These competitors very, very much sportsmen when it is all over. All right, the next pair, the big name, Don Prudhomme against the unsponsored car from Columbus, Ohio. Jim had probably one of the biggest upset winners in the history of drag racing when he won the U.S. Nationals last year, Steve.
And he won the U.S. Nationals, Brock, not with sheer power, but by not making mistakes. When you go up to race Jim Head, you've got to beat him. He seldom beats himself. And remember, these are both new power plants since the first round, unproven in some ways.
Interesting strategy. Head uses. He's a lot like a golfer who doesn't hit very far off the tee, but always stays in the middle of the fairway. Very consistent, very conservative. Jim Head knocked around this sport for a long time in Top Fuel cars and funny cars. He's up against one of the greats in this sport, Don Prudhomme, a pioneer in Top Fuel cars, 4-time world champion in the funny cars.
Don Prudhomme was the first to ever top 250 miles an hour, and he did it a couple of years ago on this very racetrack. Boy, Jim Head's car is pretty, isn't it, Brock?
It sure is. It doesn't have a whole lot of sponsored decals on it, but the paint job is beautiful, and it's a very simple, very clean operation. Kind of symbolic of the way he runs his pole racing program.
Now, Head is not a full-time professional. He and his family operate a big electrical contracting firm in the central Ohio area. Now, Head wants to race. He's moving up to the starting line. Prudhomme taking another shot at a very short burnout. The drag racers call them dry hops.
I wonder if that is a result of this racetrack getting slipperier, Steve.
Prudhomme, I believe, has shut his car off. He has. Prudhomme, not liking the sound of it, shuts it off. It'll be Jim Head on a single run, and I could have told you this had happened. Jim Head is not going to make an all-out run. He doesn't care about lane choice. He cares more about saving the nitromethane and the parts.
And there is one very disappointed Don Prudhomme. His adrenaline was up. He was ready to race, and suddenly the engine shut down, and he is out of it for the day. A very tough break for the former world champion. Okay, the funny car semifinal pairings will have a couple of new faces. Ron Correnti versus Jim Head. Force versus Kenny Bernstein. Bernstein, of course, the most familiar and the most successful of that lot. As Don Prudhomme gets